Greetings, mechanics, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic and to the blurry, distant image of our hovercraft. Well, I mean, again, that's a bit of a grand title for what that thing actually is, but I have great plans for it, thanks in large part to the advice and comments that I have received on the last video. But in this episode, as promised, we're going to be working on a house, and I've already scouted out a nice location with good views all around and easy road access, and I've just laid down some foundations, so I've kind of got a floor plan to work to. The most of this episode is going to be concerned with building the doors and access to this house, and then we'll be prettifying it and generally building it up over the coming episodes in between building crazy vehicles. But if you haven't seen my 5-minute tutorial on building sliding doors, now might be a good time to go and check that out, as I'm going to be working on sliding doors in this episode. Now, this is going to be our main entryway. The door will actually exist around here and will slide shut, and I've got all sorts of plans for access up to the upper levels. I'm thinking a folding stairs, but for now we'll just focus on getting the basics in place. So we need to decide how big the door is going to be and basically measure where the door is going to slide back to. And I think this is 5 wide. Yes, it is. Good. So I like the idea. I mean, this is 5 here. We actually wanted to come in a little bit more than that, about 7. So there's no noticeable seam in the wall when it's fully closed. Right, that looks about right. You've got to get these things done early on, otherwise it's going to make you a lot of extra work later. So what I'm trying to measure is how long the limbs are going to have to extend, because 6 will take us out to there, 8 will take us right to this point, and that's good enough for us. So we're going to pop down. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 long limbs on each side. Could just have it here because 4 easily fits into this space. So we'll put down the bearings now. We are also going to need a control panel, but that doesn't actually need to be anywhere visible. We can put that inside without any trouble at all, inside the wall, and then hook it up to a switch later on. The important thing with the control panel is that I make sure that all of these bearings are actually connected to it. I'll do the other bearings later because I want the sequence 1, 2, 3 to deal with one arm, and then 4, 5, 6 to deal with the other. Now, in my tutorial, I used different types of building materials to build the limbs, and I think that's generally going to be the best option for you. So we're going to continue with that. In this case, yeah, that's right. I'm going to need a little bit of extra height. You know what's going to be good for that? A box. Let's plop down a box, and another box, so I can jump on it and get some height over what I'm building on. There we go. So we want this up here. This is the first part of our limb. So when that's fully extended, it's going to be 4 along there. And then the other one will be another 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be right where we want it. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now we're going to need another bearing there. We also want to make sure that this control panel can see the bearing. Again, I explained this in the tutorial video, but as a quick refresher, the control panel can only connect to bearings that are attached to the same structure as it is. When you select the control panel, at that point, any bearings that aren't connected to the same structure, you won't be able to draw a line to that too. And then a final corner piece just down here. Perfect. And there we go. Once again, let's make sure that you can actually see this bearing. Right, there we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I would actually like all of the bearings to be rotating in the same direction, so all blue should be turning clockwise. Right, so with that done, we'll put a little connector piece right there. Get rid of you. Now the simple setup we want here is 90 degrees clockwise, 180 degrees anti-clockwise, and then 90 degrees clockwise again. And that should give us a sliding door. And we can quickly test that by making sure that this kind of warning slab is pointing in the right direction. We'll just put down a temporary switch and hook that up to make sure that everything is running correctly. It is better for us to find out now if it is not. Yep, it's all working fine. It's even easier if we set this up on this side. I want metal blocks, please. I'm also going to actually want a couple of other things too. Let's see. I kind of like the idea of using these to make a kind of locking mechanism on the door as well. We'll have to see how... I think we'll be able to fit it, given the amount of blocks we can have. But it is super, super, super important that you build off this block here, not anywhere else. So you draw that down. Always build off blocks that are already connected to the main construct. Otherwise, it won't work. I really do like the idea of a locking mechanism. But working out how to create one is going to be the issue. I could have something about here, actually, and then hook this up. Right. Actually, we'll do the locking mechanism last. But I'm thinking of having these corner slabs just kind of clicking in together and creating a seal so that this couldn't open anyway, and there's no real point to it. It's just fancy. Now, since I've already shown me making this door on one side, I will quickly fast forward to me having the other side made as well. So see you in a few seconds. Okay, our door is pretty much complete. Let's just give it a quick test. Perfect. Absolutely wonderful. Right. Now, as for the locking mechanism, this is what I'm thinking. We would want some sort of, yeah, something like that. And something down here as well. And, no, actually, that isn't going to quite work the way I want. I need them a little bit further apart. Let's separate them. They need a tile in between, of course. I was being a bit of a derp there, as per usual. There we go. Then we want one down here. And effectively, we want these to connect out this way. Though, of course, because they are connected to bearings that aren't actually being controlled by anything, they're just going to freely move. When this is closed, I want these to be closed a little while after. Now, this is not something I've played around with before, actually having a delay on when these activate. So I will have to puzzle this out a tiny little bit. Hopefully I'm not going to derp too hard, but you never know. There we go. We could have something, funky going on out here if we really wanted to. And I guess, no, I don't think we need to. Right, let's have a look. So the first section will... This is actually when they're in their default state. So the number 7 needs to be... Let me just double check which way it's rotating. So it needs to be clockwise by 90 when it's put forward. So when it's extended, as it is right now, this needs to eventually move to its 0 state. I see, I've built it in an odd way. Let me let's pull up. Oh, wait! That was not quite what I meant for to happen. Let's see. Let's pop that in there instead. Now this will break. Dunk. Put it back. In its 0 state, which it is now, I would like these to be rotated. This one by 90 degrees. This one anti-clockwise. No, that one needs to be clockwise. Alright, there we go. So they both rotate in the same direction. That's actually fine then. Okay, now when it gets over here, I want, after this is complete, I want this to go back to there and there, possibly. Let's see if that works. Perfect! Ha-ha! And it took me a very minimal amount of puzzling. No, it didn't. I was a massive dip. But there we go. We've got a locking mechanism and everything. Oh, how awesome is that? Now I need to prettify this place up a little bit. I need to make it so this all looks like it's in its rightful place, which means I need to extend this wall section back here, at least. Draw that all the way up, I think, about there. Because this little section needs to be concealed inside. In fact, let's drop that in there as well and draw that up. There we go. However, when this is properly retracted, then this little area doesn't actually need to be out very far. Okay, there we go. I have finished sprucing the place up a little bit. I went around the outside and I built up all the walls, and I've added a couple of props, just to make this place feel a little bit more homely. Not that it's going to be a home. Little no robot sign there, construction zone. Maybe that's why the robots are always so mean to us, is because we didn't welcome him into our basically storehouse. I mean, I'm not sure why they want to come here. But again, I've just popped a few props around it. I'm probably going to get rid of these. I just wanted to spruce the place up a little bit before I brought you back. Got some cucumbers all over the place, some oranges, some radishes, some carrots. Ah, grand. Now, my plan for this place is to have it be a multi-story building. We're going to actually have more of the doing stuff upstairs. But I do want a fairly large garage. So we are going to want to prepare that area, and I'm thinking, let's find if there's a prop that would make a good door. We've got a fence here that might make for a good door. A ventilation grid, that's probably too small. We've got this, which is a half door. Well, I mean, I've used it as a half door. But let's actually see, how big is this? You know what, that actually would make a fairly nice door. Yeah, I quite like that. So it's 4 wide. Get out of the way. About there. Yeah, okay. We'll make this little area ready for us. And obviously, we are going to want some warning bricks down there just to show that we're transitioning between a room, and also that outside is more of a construction area than inside, where this is going to lead up to the next level. I'm probably going to place some sort of fancy staircase somewhere in here that's mechanical and kind of folds out or something like that. That's my plan at any rate. Let's see, we want some more bricks. This is why I don't play Minecraft on this channel, because you would spend the vast majority of your time watching me build things and smarten up my buildings rather than going around and crafting mines. There we go. Something like that. That doesn't look right. It's not got any shadows. If there were shadows, maybe. You know what? Maybe we could hook up a light. Let's see. Can we stick a light up there? Maybe 2? I would be okay with 2 lights. You know what? That doesn't actually look too bad, all things told. Let's get rid of that, though. Down the sides there. I want some sort of angled block. I guess I could use a staircase wedge or the duct. Let's pop these in. This is going to be the last little bit of me umming and ahhing over anything before we actually get to wrapping up this episode, because it has gone on probably long enough, I feel. There we go. Right. That's kind of a nice, sort of a nicer door, maybe. It probably looks a little bit more grand than it really should. Right, we're going to need a bearing. We're also going to need a control. And, of course, some sort of switch. Now, you know what? I'm thinking this one can be an automatic door. Yes, I like this. I like this a lot. Pop you down there so that you'll activate whenever someone walks underneath. There we go. That seems like a pretty cool idea to me. Pop that in there. Then we want you to be rotated the other way first. Let's make sure you're the right orientation first. You press Q to reorientate the block, and make sure that it is connected to the bearing. So there we are. There's our little door there. Now we need to find a place where we can sneakily hide the control. I guess I could sneakily hide it up there, but that's not particularly sneaky. The other place I could hide it is in here. There's no particular reason not to, so let's just pop this control in there. There we are, nice and easy. We'll hook this up with the connection tool. So drag that across to there. Can I also control this light? No, I cannot. The light is on. The light does not go off. Very well. All right, which way does that rotate? I want it rotating into the garage, I think. So anti-clockwise it is. We want you to go anti-clockwise. There we are. And then fill in this wall again. Hopefully we'll be getting a lot more blocks and different textured cubes for construction. It would make these sorts of things much nicer. But let's actually have a look. Perfect. Wow, that sounds really like it's just bashing things around. You can't get back in from the other side. Ha-ha! So you have to go through this funky door to get in, which I left open. Ah! Almost. Ouch! Ah, that is so dangerous. My lord, I need a warning sign. Need some sort of warning. Do not enter. Warning falling objects. Construction zone. Caution. Automated facility. Maybe. Danger! There we go. My goodness! We almost died. Where are we going to put this? That doesn't really fit there. Maybe over here. Danger! Mostly about this. Danger! I can't put it there because it would mess with the walls, but that is definitely what I'm thinking about. Do not push this button when the door is closed. Only... There we go. Now we are safely locked inside, unless we move over here, and then our door opens. But that is going to be it for this episode. I hope you like the beginning of our little house here. If you have any ideas or suggestions for how we can make it more awesome, or any of the other parts. Again, this is going to be a multi-story facility, with most of the sort of living quarters upstairs. We're going to have a fairly large building over here. It's probably going to be the same size as 2 stories, just so we can fit any extremely large craft or vehicle in there. It's probably just going to be like a hangar more than anything else. But yes, those are the plans. But anything else you would like to suggest, then do leave a comment on the video below, or a like to let me know that you would like to see more of this in the future. But until then, do take care.